Your car might be silently destroying itself right now. If your engine shows any of these 15 symptoms of a bad PCV valve, you could be looking at head gasket failure, turbo damage, or a $3,000 rebuild. Most mechanics won't tell you. Watch till the end, because I'll reveal a simple, under $20 trick that can prevent total engine disaster. Before we dive into the 15 signs, let's quickly understand what the PCV valve actually does and why it's so important. The PCV valve, or Positive Crankcase Ventilation valve, is a small but crucial part of your engine. Its main job is to control the flow of gases from the crankcase back into the intake manifold, where they can be burned safely. Think of it as your engine's way of recycling blow-by gases instead of letting them build up and cause problems. When the PCV valve works correctly, it reduces pressure inside the crankcase, prevents oil leaks, and keeps the air-fuel mixture stable. It also plays a big role in preventing sludge formation and keeping your engine running smoothly. However, when the PCV valve gets stuck, clogged, or worn out, these gases can't escape properly. That leads to excess crankcase pressure, which can push oil past seals, create leaks, make the engine run rough, and even trigger the check engine light. Now that you know what the PCV valve does and why it's critical, let's go through the 15 signs and symptoms that your valve might be failing. Symptom number 15, rough idling. You might notice your engine vibrating or shaking when your car is stopped at a light, or hear it pulsing strangely under the hood. This happens because a stuck or clogged PCV valve can cause a vacuum leak in the intake system. When that happens, the engine struggles to maintain a steady idle since the air-fuel mixture is off balance. A lot of people mistake this for spark plug problems, ignition issues, or even dirty fuel injectors. But if the rough idling comes along with other symptoms like oil leaks or unusual engine noises, the PCV valve is often the real culprit. Quick tip: you can sometimes hear the rough idle get worse when the engine is warm, or when AC is turned on, because the engine is under slight load. Symptom number 14, check engine light. This happens because a stuck or clogged PCV valve can create a vacuum leak, which affects the air-fuel mixture going into your engine. When the engine control unit, ECU, detects an unusual mixture, it may trigger codes such as P0171 or P0174, System 2 Lean P0300, random or multiple cylinder misfire. These codes are often misdiagnosed as fuel injector problems, oxygen sensor issues, or spark plug failures, but in many cases the root cause is a malfunctioning PCV valve. Pro tip: if your check engine light comes on alongside other signs like rough idle, oil leaks, or unusual smoke, it's a strong indicator that the PCV valve needs inspection or replacement. Ignoring it could lead to engine damage over time. Symptom number 13, engine oil leaks. A failing PCV valve can directly lead to engine oil leaks. Here's why. The PCV valve is responsible for releasing pressure from the crankcase. When it's stuck or clogged, the pressure builds up and pushes oil past seals and gaskets that are normally tight. This can cause oil to seep around the valve cover, oil cap, or even the dipstick tube. You might notice puddles under your car or oil residue on the engine block. Many drivers mistake this for worn gaskets or engine age, but if the leaks appear suddenly or alongside rough idle or check engine light, the PCV valve is often the hidden culprit. Quick tip: inspect around the valve cover and breather hoses. Excess oil here is a strong signal the PCV system isn't venting properly. Symptom number 12, blue smoke from exhaust. Blue smoke typically means that engine oil is being burned in the combustion chamber, and a malfunctioning PCV valve is often the cause. When the PCV valve is stuck open or clogged, excess pressure builds up in the crankcase. This pressure can force oil through seals and into the intake manifold, where it gets sucked into the combustion chamber and burned along with fuel. You might see this smoke more often on startup, especially if the car has been sitting for a while, during heavy acceleration when crankcase pressure increases. Important note: a little smoke occasionally can happen in older engines, but continuous or heavy blue smoke paired with other symptoms like oil leaks or rough idling is a clear sign that the PCV valve needs attention. Symptom number 11, excessive oil consumption. We've already talked about oil leaks, and a failing PCV valve can also lead to excessive oil consumption inside the engine. When the PCV valve is stuck or clogged, crankcase pressure builds up, pushing oil into the intake manifold and eventually into the combustion chamber. This means your engine burns more oil than usual, so you might find yourself adding oil between services more often than normal. Drivers often dismiss this as normal oil loss, but if it's happening along with rough idle, blue smoke, or check engine light, it's a clear sign the PCV valve is malfunctioning. Quick tip: keep an eye on your oil level over a few days. A sudden drop could indicate a PCV-related problem, rather than just engine wear. Symptom number 10, poor fuel economy. When the valve is stuck open or clogged, it can cause a vacuum leak in the intake system. This disrupts the air-fuel mixture, making the engine run richer or leaner than it should. The result? Your car burns more fuel than normal, and your miles per gallon drop noticeably. Drivers often think it's a fuel injector issue or bad gas, but if poor fuel economy shows up alongside rough idle, oil leaks, or check engine light, the PCV valve is a likely culprit. Pro tip: if you've recently replaced spark plugs, cleaned fuel injectors, or changed air filters and your fuel economy is still dropping, check the PCV valve before spending more money. Symptom number 9, engine sludge formation. When the PCV valve fails or gets clogged, it prevents proper ventilation of the crankcase. This allows moisture, fuel vapors, and contaminants to mix with the oil, forming thick sludge over time. Sludge can coat internal engine parts, including valves, camshafts, and oil passages, which reduces lubrication and accelerates engine wear. In severe cases, it can even clog oil passages, leading to costly repair. Quick tip: if your engine oil looks dark, thick, or sticky, despite regular changes and you're seeing other PCV symptoms like rough idle or oil leaks, the PCV valve is likely contributing to sludge formation. Symptom number 8, whistling or hissing sounds from engine. A stuck or clogged PCV valve can also cause unusual whistling or hissing noises coming from your engine bay. These sounds happen because the PCV system controls crankcase ventilation, and when it's not working properly, it can create a vacuum leak in the intake manifold or hoses. You might hear a high-pitched whistle near the valve cover, a hissing sound coming from the intake or breather hoses. Many drivers mistake these noises for intake leaks or turbo issues, but if they occur alongside rough idle, check engine light, or oil leaks, it's a strong sign that the PCV valve is failing. Pro tip: listen closely with the engine running at idle and under light acceleration. The sounds often get more pronounced when the engine is under vacuum stress. Symptom number 7, misfiring or hesitation under load. This happens because a stuck or clogged PCV valve disrupts the vacuum in the intake manifold, which affects the air-fuel mixture going into the cylinders. The result? The engine struggles under load, feels sluggish, or occasionally stutters during acceleration. Many drivers assume it's a fuel system or ignition problem, but if it happens along with rough idle, oil leaks, or check engine light codes, the PCV valve is often the hidden cause. Quick tip: if you notice hesitation or misfires only under load rather than at idle, inspect the PCV valve and related hoses. A clogged valve can significantly affect performance. Symptom number 6, poor acceleration. A bad PCV valve can make your car feel sluggish or slow to respond when you press the gas. This happens because a malfunctioning PCV valve can create a vacuum leak, which interferes with the engine's air-fuel mixture. When the engine isn't getting the right balance of air and fuel, it struggles to produce power, especially during quick acceleration or overtaking. Many people mistakenly blame the throttle body, fuel system, or spark plugs. But if poor acceleration comes along with rough idle, oil leaks, or check engine light, the PCV valve is often the root cause. Symptom number 5, rough shifting. A failing PCV valve can even affect your automatic transmission. Excess crankcase pressure caused by a stuck or clogged PCV valve can impact the vacuum modulator in some older or vacuum-controlled automatic transmissions. This may lead to harsh, delayed, or erratic gear changes, especially during acceleration or deceleration. Many drivers assume the transmission itself is failing, but often the real culprit is excessive crankcase pressure from a malfunctioning PCV valve. Pro tip: if your car shifts roughly and you're also noticing oil leaks, rough idle, or unusual smoke, inspect the PCV valve first. Fixing it can sometimes restore smooth shifting without costly transmission repairs. Symptom number 4, strong fuel smell or burning smell. A malfunctioning PCV valve can also cause a strong fuel or burning smell in your engine bay or even inside the cabin. When the PCV valve is stuck open or clogged, excess oil vapors and unburned fuel can escape through the PCV hoses instead of being recycled into the intake manifold. This can create a noticeable chemical or oily smell, especially after idling for a while, driving aggressively, or turning off the engine after a long drive. Many drivers mistake this for a fuel leak, but if the smell appears alongside blue smoke, oil leaks, or rough idle, it's a clear warning that the PCV valve needs attention. Symptom number 3, engine misfire codes. A failing PCV valve can trigger engine misfire codes on your OBD2 scanner. When the PCV valve is stuck open or clogged, it can create a vacuum leak, which affects the air-fuel mixture entering the cylinders. This imbalance can cause the engine to misfire intermittently, and your car may throw codes like P0300, random multiple cylinder misfire, P0301 to P0304, misfire in specific cylinders. Many mechanics might initially blame spark plugs, ignition coils, or fuel injectors, but if misfires occur alongside rough idle, oil leaks, or unusual smoke, the PCV valve is often the hidden cause. Symptom number 2, failed emissions test. When you go for an emissions or smog test and your car fails unexpectedly, a bad PCV valve could be the reason. A malfunctioning valve disrupts the air-fuel mixture and allows excess hydrocarbons and unburned fuel to enter the exhaust, which increases emissions. This means your car can fail smog inspections, even if everything else seems normal. Mechanics may blame oxygen sensors or catalytic converters, but if your engine is showing other PCV symptoms like rough idle, oil leaks, or blue smoke, the PCV valve is likely the underlying issue. Symptom number 1, sudden engine knock or ticking noise. The most serious warning of a failing PCV valve is a sudden engine knock or ticking noise. When the PCV valve is stuck or clogged, crankcase pressure builds up and can push oil into areas it shouldn't, like the lifters, camshaft, or valve train. This can lead to metal-on-metal contact, causing knocking, ticking, or tapping sounds from the engine. Ignoring this symptom can result in serious engine damage over time, including worn bearings or valve issues. Quick tip: if you hear new knocking or ticking noises and notice other PCV symptoms like oil leaks, rough idle, or blue smoke, inspect the PCV valve immediately. Replacing a faulty valve can prevent major repairs and save your engine. That's it for the 15 signs of a bad PCV valve. If you found this helpful, like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more car tips and hidden mechanic secrets. Don't stop here. Watch the video below to learn even more ways to protect your engine.